dear children, welcome back to the second part of the fourth chapter, class 9, climate. Let us begin this video by understanding different factors affecting India's climate. Number 1, latitude. The Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of the country from the Rann of Kutch in the west to Mizoram in the east. Almost half of the country lying south of Tropic of Cancer belongs to tropical area. All the remaining area north of tropic lies in the subtropics. Therefore, India's climate has characteristics of both tropical as well as subtropical climates. Second factor is altitude. India has mountains to the north which have an average height of about 6,000 meters. India also has a vast coastal area where the maximum elevation is about 30 meters. The Himalayas prevent the cold winds from Central Asia from entering the subcontinent. It is because of these mountains that this subcontinent experiences comparatively milder winters as compared to Central Asia. Third, pressure and winds. The climate and associated weather conditions in India are governed by the following atmospheric conditions: pressure and surface winds, upper air circulation, western cyclonic disturbances, and tropical cyclones. India lies in the region of northeasterly winds. These winds originate from the subtropical high pressure belt of the northern hemisphere. They blow south, get deflected to the right due to the Coriolis force, and move onwards towards the equatorial low pressure area. Generally, these winds carry very little moisture as they originate and blow over land. Therefore, they bring little or no rain. Children, the pressure and wind conditions over India are unique. During winter, there is a high pressure area north of the Himalayas. Cold dry winds blow from this region to the low pressure areas over the ocean to south. In summer, a low pressure area develops over interior Asia as well as over northwestern India. This causes a complete reversal of the direction of winds during the summers. Air moves from the high pressure area over the southern Indian Ocean in a southeasterly direction, crosses the equator, and turns right towards the low pressure area over the Indian subcontinent. These are known as the southwest monsoon winds. Now let us try to understand the mechanism of Indian monsoons. The differential heating and cooling of land and water creates low pressure on the landmass of India, while the seas around experiences comparatively high pressure. Second, the shift of the position of the intertropical convergence zone ITCZ in summer over the Ganga plain. This is the equatorial trough, normally positioned about 5 degrees north of the equator. It is also known as the monsoon trough during the monsoon season. Third, the presence of high pressure area east of Madagascar, approximately at 20 degrees south over the Indian Ocean. The intensity and position of this high pressure area affects the Indian monsoon. Fourth, the Tibetan plateau gets intensely heated during the summers, which results in strong vertical air current and the formation of low pressure over the plateau at about 9 kilometers above the sea level. Fifth, the movement of the westerly jet streams to the north of Himalayas and the presence of the tropically easterly jet streams over the Indian peninsula during summer affect the Indian monsoons. Children, apart from this, it has also been noticed that changes in pressure conditions over the southern ocean also affects the monsoons. Normally, when the tropical eastern South Pacific Ocean experiences high pressure, the tropical eastern Indian Ocean experiences low pressure. But in certain years, there is a reversal in the pressure conditions and the eastern Pacific has low pressure in comparison to the eastern Indian Ocean. This periodic change in pressure condition is known as Southern Oscillation or SO. The difference in pressure over Tahiti, Pacific Ocean 8 degrees south, 149 degrees west, and Darwin in northern Australia, Indian Ocean 12 degrees 30 minutes south and 131 degrees east is computed to predict the intensity of the monsoons. If the pressure differences were negative, it would mean below average and late monsoon. A feature connected with SO is the El Nino phenomena, in which a warm ocean current that flows past the Peruvian coast in place of the cold Peruvian current every 2 to 5 years changes the pressure conditions. The change in the pressure condition are connected to the El Nino. Hence, the phenomena is referred to as ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillations. Now let us try to understand the onset of the monsoons and withdrawal. The monsoon, unlike the trades, are not steady winds but are pulsating in nature. The duration of monsoon is between 100 to 120 days from early June to mid-September, around the time of its arrival. The normal rainfall increases suddenly and continues constantly for several days. This is known as the burst of the monsoon and can be distinguished from the pre-monsoon showers. The monsoon arrives at the southern tip of the Indian peninsula and get bifurcated into two branches, the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch. The Arabian Sea branches reaches Mumbai about 10 days later on approximately the 10th of June. This is a fairly rapid advance. The Bay of Bengal branch also advances rapidly and arrives in Assam in the first week of June. By mid-June, the Arabian Sea branch of the monsoon arrives over Saurashtra, Kutch and the central part of the country. The Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal branches of the monsoon merges over the northern western part of the Ganga plain. Delhi generally receives the monsoon showers from the Bay of Bengal branch by the end of June. By the first week of July, western Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana and easterly Rajasthan experience the monsoon. By mid-July, the monsoon reaches Himachal Pradesh and rest of the country. Withdrawal or the retreat of monsoon is a more gradual process. The withdrawal of the monsoon begins in northwestern states of India by early September. By mid-October, it withdraws completely from the northern half of the peninsula. The withdrawal from the southern half of the peninsula is fairly rapid. By early December, the monsoon has withdrawn from the rest of the country. The islands receive the very first monsoon showers progressively from south to north, from the last week of April to the first week of May. The withdrawal takes place progressively from north to the south from the first week of December to the first week of January. By this time, the rest of the country is already under the influence of winter monsoon. Let us take up the last part of the video, the seasons. The monsoon type of climate is characterized by a distinct seasonal pattern. The weather conditions generally change from one season to other. Four main seasons can be identified in India: the cold weather season, the hot weather season, the advancing monsoon and the retreating monsoon with some regional variations. The cold weather season, winter. The cold weather season begins from mid-November in northern India and stays till February. December and January are the coldest months in the northern part of India. During this season, the northeast trade winds prevail over the country. They blow from land to sea and hence for most part of the country it is a dry season. Some amount of rainfall occurs on the Tamil Nadu coast. A characteristic feature of the cold weather season over the northern plain is the inflow of the cyclonic disturbances from the west and northwest. The total amount of winter rainfall locally known as Mahavat is small. They are of immense importance for the cultivation of rabi crops. The peninsular region does not have a well-defined cold season. The hot weather season, summer. From March to May, it is hot weather season in India. The influence of shifting of the heat belt can be seen clearly. In March, the highest temperature is about 38 degrees Celsius. In April, temperature in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh are around 42 degrees Celsius. In May, temperature of 45 degrees Celsius is common in northwestern part of the country. A striking feature of the hot weather season is the loo. These are strong, gusty, hot, dry winds blowing during the day over north and north part of India. This is also the season for localized thunderstorms associated with violent winds, torrential downpours, often accompanied by hail. In West Bengal, these storms are known as Kal Baisakhi. Towards the close of summer season, pre-monsoon showers are common, especially in Kerala and Karnataka. They help in the early ripening of mangoes and henceforth are also referred as mango showers. is the advancing monsoon or the rainy season. By early June, the low pressure conditions over the northern plains intensifies. It attracts the trade winds of southern hemisphere. These southeast trade winds originate over the warm subtropical areas of the southern ocean. They cross the equator and blow in a southwesterly direction, entering the Indian peninsula as the southwest monsoon. The inflow of the southwest monsoon into India brings about a total change in the weather. Early in the season, the windward side of the Western Ghats receive a very heavy rainfall, more than 250 centimeters. The Deccan Plateau, the part of Madhya Pradesh, also receives some amount of rain. The maximum rainfall of this season is received in the northeastern part of the country. Mysore in the southern ranges of Khasi Hill receives the highest average rainfall in the world. Another phenomena associated with the monsoon is the tendency to have breaks in rainfall. Thus, it has wet and dry spells. In other words, the monsoon rains take place only for a few days at a time. They are interspersed with rainless intervals. These breaks in monsoons are related to the movement of the monsoon trough. When the axis of the monsoon trough lies over the plains, rainfall is good in these parts. On the other hand, whenever the axis shifts closer to the Himalayas, there are longer dry spells in the plains. These heavy rains bring in their wake devastating floods, cause damage to life and property in the plains. The last season is the retreating post-monsoon, the transition season. During October-November, with the apparent movement of the sun towards the south, the monsoon trough or the low-pressure trough over the northern plains become weaker. This is gradually replaced by a high-pressure system. The southwest monsoon winds weaken and start withdrawing gradually. By the beginning of October, the monsoon withdraws from the northern plains. The months of October-November form a period of transition from hot rainy season to dry winter condition. Owing to the conditions of high temperature and humidity, the weather becomes rather oppressive during the day. This is commonly known as October heat. In the second half of the October, the mercury begins to fall rapidly in the northern India and we shift towards the winter season again. The seasonal alteration of the wind system and the associated weather conditions provide a rhythmic cycle of seasons. Even the uncertainties of rain and uneven distribution are very much typical of the monsoon. The Indian landscape, its animals and plants' life, its entire agriculture calendar, and the life of the people, including their festivities, revolve around this phenomena. Year after year, people of India from north to south and from east to west eagerly wait the arrival of the monsoons. With this, we end the video. God bless and take care of yourselves.